whenever you are logging in, the caller and short description are mandatory, and the status is in progress, and impact, urgency, and priority has been shift set it. What I'll do, I'll change this impact and urgency so that the priority will be automatically changed based on impact and urgency. And I'll make this short description field as non-mandatory on load. Right, for that, search with the client scripts on application navigation navigator. Under system definitions, you will be finding client scripts. Open that. There will be already few of out of the box and which will be created previously. All the client scripts you can see here. You'll be seeing on the application basis as well on which application these particular things are there. Now I'll create a new proper name, like on which what will be the name of this particular client script. Browser will be as limited. We need to check and I'll mention as changing impact and urgency. And the table, like we need to select on which table we want to apply it here. And UI type is on which type this is the desktop type, and we have like mobile and service portals and all on which it should be up. Always select all. No need to select single or desktop or mobile service portal. Always type all. Then it will be applicable on all these types like desktop, mobile, and service portal as well. If anything is happening there. Here the main things comes. The type is there. Here it comes. Here we can see each four types which I have mentioned, like on chain, on load, on change, on accelerate, and on submit. Whenever we selected this particular type, automatically the some syntax will be provided by ServiceNow. If you see here, this is the syntax automatically provided by ServiceNow. These syntax which was been provided by ServiceNow, we should not even touch it. If you are making changes to any of this syntax, that's it. Whatever the code you are writing out, it will not work. Make sure you should not touch anything on this thing. If you want to write any script, you can write below this line, next line, or if they mention, like you mentioned, type your comments below here. In these two ways, you can make the changes. You can write your code, but don't ever touch this function on load. Because if you touch this, that's it. Everything, the code will not work properly if you're making any changes on this. And if you click on change, oh, it's not. I think I need to reload it. Then it will. Okay, will everything whichever you are selecting each type, it will automatically the syntax will be forms that we'll see on change when we are doing it. Now it comes to onload. What I'll do, I'll make this impact as 2 and urgency as 2. Automatically it should be priority will be changed to 3. Onload it should happen. What I'll do, I'll write g_form dot set value. If you see, whenever you write g_form dot, and they will be giving some suggestions. You can use any of these. There will be like a number of suggestions they'll be giving. In this, whichever you can use it, you can use this functions here. Presently, I want to set the value, right? I'll use the set value. Yeah. And then what I'll do, and, and whenever you are writing this, always make sure you are copy from here backend. If you are not, whenever you can just right click on this and show, it will show the field name. Just copy it because it should not, if you given any little error also, that will not be updated. Just copy paste it. Same way I'll write for the urgency. Underscore form dot set. Next, what I'll do, I'll make as a short description non-mandatory. If you see, whenever I type capital D, it's showing different things. Whenever you're writing G underscore form, it should be always on the small letters. Form dot set mandatory. uh, Short description. I'll make it as a false. Why false? It is, as I mentioned, always when you are mentioning a set mandatory, it's a Boolean value. You need to select your particular field. You need to paste your particular field and then Boolean value like true or false. If I see whenever I have written things, I mentioned G underscore form set value and then field name I mentioned. This is the field name which we need to change every time here. And new value. What are the value we want to change it? We need to mention that value. Same way I have mentioned it. We come to set mandatory, same like G underscore form dot set mandatory and the field name. What are the field, which field we want to make that mandatory or non-mandatory? We need to give that field and then the Boolean values here, true or false. I've given as a false. I want to make it as a, there is a one more like messages I mentioned it. I'll give an alert. For this, you don't need to write anything, just mention normally. Uh, if there's double quotes or anything, you can just give your message. Always you need to give like semicolon, colon. Whenever you're completing your particular code, like you need to give this colon. Otherwise, it will not execute. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not work properly. Let me save this. Then what I'll do, I'll just reload this particular form. Asking for reload. If you see, it's mentioned it is an onload plan. So before that, you can see what are the fields are there. It's by default reverse. Okay. Once this onload is finished, I need to click on OK. Then only the onload will complete it. If I click on OK, you can see the impact and urgency has been changed. Okay. Yeah, and one more thing. Yeah, whenever you're changing using the script impact and urgency, we need to set the priority as well. Not sure why the short description is not changed. See once like uh, it is getting mandatory by something else, whichever the things is uh, working after the client script. There is a scenario where it will work in some order like UI policies, client scripts, business rules, and all these things. In that order, it is working. That's why it is not setting it as false. Maybe let's make something of some field else mandatory. Maybe let's make assignment group as a mandatory. Along with that, we'll add priority. We'll set priority as well. We'll set priority to 2. Whenever, but if you see, whenever we need to mention as we not given value as true. Yeah, see, it is mentioned. It's become mandatory now. Once it's loaded. Whenever the form loads, it automatically changes the values which as we will be defining. In this way, we can change our any values on this. Okay, maybe let's try the changing of the label.
Excuse
Yeah, let's go form dot. Here we need to use like a set label of not as our field name and the string.
Chaitanya, so what shortcut you are giving to see the table name of each field here?
Here we have one extension like called SN utilities. Using that extension, I'll be able to see this. Yeah.
Yes, and tool. It's a tool, huh?
Yeah, it is an extension where it will the ServiceNow things we can for ServiceNow only it will be like we can if you double click on our particular field it will be shows if you double unclick it it will go automatic.
Okay, okay. We need to install from ServiceNow.
Not ServiceNow from Chrome directly you can search for SN utilities you'll get it out.
SN utility.
Yeah, SN utilities.
Okay, okay. Chaitanya.
Acha, then see the name the caller is the name we have changed this name to requested file. In this way, we'll be using this every time, which are the fields we want to change that particular uh, field label. We can use set label of, I mentioned set label, but it is a set label of, using this function, we can change our field label as well. Any questions here? Vilna?
Can you please show the script for change level?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the script.
Okay.
Next, like we'll write on change construct. What we will do, like suppose whenever the priority is critical, we'll make the description field as a mandatory. And okay, let me change like in progress to new. I'll change the state to in progress to new whenever we are creating a value. First, what here we'll do? Yeah, we'll use the priority changes. One, done that. Variable incident and type is all. And here the type is on change. Before we have selected as on submit, here we'll be looking as on change, because on changing of this particular value, we want to make some uh, fields mandatory and read only. Using that, for that we need to change the fonts. Whenever we are mentioning as an on change, here we need to select the particular field name on which field we need to be applicable. If you see, I'll select as a priority field, because whenever I'm changing, the priority has been changing to critical. That time I need to change this. I need to make it a mandatory. I'll just select priority. Here, if you see, as I mentioned before, onload has different syntax and on change have different syntax. Every time these are the syntaxes which is provided by ServiceNow. We should not change any of these syntaxes here. If you are changing it, we'll get an errors in this as well. Every time we should not try to change this syntaxes here. Whatever we want to write, we need to write in the below the script. What initially I'll do, I'll get the value of this particular priority. Uh, for that, we'll be using the get value. G underscore form dot get value. Before we have used a set value. What we used to do for the set value means we are setting that particular value, but now we are getting the particular value of that particular record. If you see here, using this set value, we are setting the field. Setting the field value. But when it comes here, we are getting the field value. Getting the field value. Getting a field value will just only mention the field name. Will not write any. Here we have setting the value means we are giving the value which need to be set. But here we are just getting a value. We don't need to write anything. Just we just mention the priority. That's it. Now what I'll use an if condition. Oh, I'll store this in a one variable so that I can call this function I can get this value in some particular variable so that I can check with that variable is working fine. Where I'll define where priority equal to g underscore form dot get value. What this variable will do now, it will store this particular whatever the value it's coming, it will store it in this priority. And whenever we are writing this if condition, right here, it will check, we'll be writing the condition. Suppose priority is equal to 1, I'll take. This is my condition. When it will store this value initially in this priority, and it will come to the next step in the if. It will check it. If you see here, we'll be having n number of priority types, like 5 types. We have each one has single field, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And whenever it matches with the one, then only it will go to this logic and execute. If it does not matches, what are the condition we are giving it? It will not. It will directly close that there. If it comes as a 5, it will not match this condition and it will not go to this particular loop inside here. Right. That value. I will take this state. Otherwise, let's take this contact type and set it to phone. I'll set this contact type and mention phone. Here, there will be two ways of mentioning the thing. If it is a number, if you see, whenever we are setting the value of a number, we just given the number. But if we are giving any value in the text, that time we need to mention a quotes. The number value will directly take, but whenever if it's a text value, we need to give in the quotes. Otherwise, it will not take it. And g underscore form dot set mandatory. I'll mention this short description also mandatory. I'll mention this as a mandatory. If we can write, there is one condition like else. Else is one. If if you don't want any other conditions, we can go with else. Otherwise, if you have else if, there is else if, what it will do? It will check this condition as well. It will check only the priority, the first equal to 1. If I want to display some other message on some particular other things, suppose I'll mention this as if else priority is equal to 2, I will define some other conditions. Then it will go into these conditions. If I'm mentioning as, suppose I'll take this as an else, I'll not need to mention any conditions here. Directly I can, whatever the things, suppose I'll mention g underscore form dot add. Let's use this add info message. Priority is we have that 2. 3, 4, 5. First, I'll write here like a g underscore form. I'll write add an error message just to show how this works. Error message. Priority is fine. Okay. I'll write one more field like add show field message. I'll mention maybe for the short description I'll add a message like this is mandatory field, something like that. Underscore form dot show field message. I'll mention the description. Here I'll write what is my message. This is the PS1. And I need to mention what type of message I need to. If it's an info message, I need to mention info. Suppose if it's an error message, I need to mention error. Then we'll go with the error. Let's save this. Oh, okay. Now we are done with our form. What I'll do, I'll go to onload and I'll reload the form. It has been setted. What I'll do, I'll change this one to low. We see whenever the priority has been changed to low, we mention as a value like a set is priority set 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we see if it given as else condition, if it's not matching with any of this, then it will be show this info message. Suppose what I'll do, I'll make this everything. If you see, it's become priority to what it mentioned like add error message we have mentioned like here it will come as an error message in this way and the field message is in this way it will come. And I'll mention this as high. What it's become description is mandatory and channel has changed to phone. If we change back also this will not change. These messages will pop up again. What I will do like I'll change this message to info. So I do input service. This one. Okay, see, it has been changed to phone. It became description and info message. We can see that the info message has been popped up here. It's become medium, and then remaining messages we did not change. It will come as this. So yeah, in this way we can write our on change kind scripts. Any doubts till now?